Whoa, what the hell? So Desmond is actually alive in the DLC? Okay, so wait a minute. This happened before Desmond died? So this DLC took place shortly before the end of Assassination Creed, because you solved everything with Connor. But Desmond is still in control of the body. Basically, that was Desmond. So the events that played out in Assassination Creed, this is simply a continuation of that. And when Desmond came out and he confronted that alien bitch, then he died thereafter. So this is like an untold story. This is not like an alternate reality, because if it was an alternate reality, then Desmond is dead, and this is an alternate reality. The events played out differently than how they did in the actual game. Well, so I'm kind of confused now, because if Desmond is actually dead, then the machine kind of rewind time to the point where he was alive and changed the direction of what's happening with Rathakoheda, Rathakohedon, Connor. At a certain point. So that's what's going on. It's not like Desmond is dead or anything. Is either he's dead, or before the end of Assassination Creed 3, before his death, something changed before he dies. So like it basically cut off the timeline from the point where Assassination Creed with Connor story ended and the game is over. It basically cut off that thread from the end of Connor's journey and included something differently after Washington retired. So after Washington retired and he went after um, the rest of the bad guys, once he took out the rest of the bad guys, he was to return home, and then Desmond would exit from the game. But once he returned home, he woke up in this reality, whereas Desmond was supposed to wake up and finish the game. But it's like someone told Desmond, or someone has not informed Desmond, that the events of what's happening in the game is over. So he's piloting this guy's body, unaware of the storyline, the proper storyline to Assassination Creed. So Desmond might be thinking this is the actual true timeline of events, but Connor said something is different. So Desmond knows something is also different himself if Connor says something is different, because he saw that Desmond also saw that she died. So Desmond is alive and he knows something is going on, or the system has changed the timeline for which he didn't die, which is branched off into a variant of itself. But this isn't like a Marvel universe. There is no variant. It's all one thing. Like if there's a variant of something, it's stacked on top of the actual original thing. It's either erasing it or replacing it. So Desmond is alive. I was wondering if Connor was piloting Ratakohedon. Connor. That's his English name. Connor.
We are almost there.
It's weird. Some weird shit going on. I mean, this is
He was right around here.
This is very interesting, because I thought I was figuring stuff out, and it turns out that
this old man's body is still warm. In this weather, it cannot be more than 2 hours since he died.
Okay, so
Sky journey. Tell me, what animal called to you?
It is difficult to talk about, but I was fortunate to meet the wolf.
You journey to a powerful place. You are fortunate.
Perhaps. This fire is still smoking. They were just here.
okay, so the thing that I missed before was some type of bow or something. So either it didn't load or I didn't see it. It's supposed to be somewhere around here. Yeah, it's the bow. Like, how the hell would anyone see that piece of shit that's hiding right there in that corner? And I've always said this, but like the Assassination Creed game, they have this tendency to have, if you're going to use text or anything to represent icons, it cannot be the same color as the background, because then it
This
becomes
is my brother's
difficult
bow.
to see.
It is certain that he was here.
Well, this was way before they start making their games better now.
The bluecoats were here. Let's keep searching.
I couldn't finish it because of a stupid bow. That's all it was. I couldn't find the bow. So ridiculous.
After the fight, the prisoners were marched up the hill.
You seem to have the nose of the wolves. This isn't right. Could you call on your spirit animal? I feel we will need help. I see that I was right. Your sky journey has given you a powerful gift. I am certain it will help our search.
What do you want with me? I didn't do nothing. Wasn't hurting nobody, just hunting deer. Them other fellas is who you want.
What others?
Bunch of shoulders. Know 'em. Nasty fellers. Saw 'em rounding up engines over yonder.
One of the Braves. Did he have a hand marked on his face?
You mean like a big tattoo across his chin? Yeah, I seen that fella with him. Hard to miss.
Take us to this camp.
Sure. Sure. Whatever you gentlemen want.
The wolves. Use them.
Help me! For the love of the king! Help! Someone help me! They're going to kill me!
Putting down the savages and all, but this is too much in my book.
Arnold is a huff.
Brother,
My brother.
I knew you'd find us.
It's thanks to Radon Hagedon.
Brother Hagaden. We will make sure that these people are taken care of.
You should return to the clan mother. She will want to hear of our adventure.
I must tell the clan mother. I can do anything now.
So I have no idea what the hell's going on. Because as I load into that game, that was Desmond's body. So unless the game simulated Desmond's actual body. So unless the game actually simulated Desmond's body, it's a bit wild. Damn wolves.
Oyener.
Radonagedon. Arnold's men followed your trail back here. Your brothers fought well, but there were too many.
I thought the tea.
Gives strength, not immortality.
It gives me life. I've never felt anything like it.
You must be careful. Respect the power of the tea. Radonagedon. Your mother was right to worry about the danger.
I am certain I can defeat anyone.
Good. First, kill Arnold. Stop the destruction here. Then kill Washington. You must succeed. Radonagedon. If not you, nobody.
Okay, I'm supposed to stealth it.
Each man is as mad as the next.
Okay, it's not assassination, it's eavesdropping. Okay. I'm not even paying attention to the objective.
Putnam gutted a man yesterday for having dirt in his musket. I'm all for weeding out the weak, but this is something else entirely. Be careful, lad. We're on the right side, but that doesn't mean we're safe.
We dealt with those savages like we were supposed to. Tough as nails they was, but we brought them down. Felt good. We have nothing to worry about.
Don't be so sure. We've got one more day in this place before we're relieved, and then it's off to the Valley Forge awaiting orders from Commander.
Where's Arnold?
He's gone off into some sort of seclusion until the king sets his sun. Putnam is acting commander until Arnold comes back.
We are very grateful.
I would help you with your people, but I must get to Valley Forge.
Once everyone is safe at the refugee camp north of here, I will join you at Valley Forge to help you to repay your kindness.
No need. But if I see you there, I will be happy for your help.
You may find other camps full of our enslaved people. They are sad reminders of Arnold's terror and devastation.
Oh, sir. This will keep me going, sir.
Radonagedon!
It's very dangerous here. Guards everywhere. They stalk the edges of the camp with dogs. These are very good dogs, Radonagedon. Alert, with sharp eyes. If you get even many yards away from them, they yowl and bring the soldiers.
Thank you. It is not safe here. Go home. You have repaid my kindness.
You will succeed, Radonagedon. Goodbye.
Okay, enough of this. I'm not gonna mess around anymore. I'm just gonna take the long way around and come from the back.
I must speak with Arnold myself.
Yes, sir. I'll arrange a detail to escort you immediately.
I do not need one. You are acting commanding officer in my absence. If anything should go wrong, well, your widow will be provided for. Dismissed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to kill him. I thought he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy in the last one. Well, was he really? Maybe he wasn't. What? These old games are so iffy. This dude stand up on his own without my consent. Oh, there was a dog there. It's so weird because every time he does something, he stands up. Like if I throw the meat on the floor, the dude shouldn't be standing up. The logic of the whole dog thing, I'm trying to figure it out. Do I throw it or do I just... Do I hold it down and throw it, or do I just throw it at my feet? Because if I throw it at my feet, I'm throwing it at my own direction. looks like I throw it at my feet and it doesn't throw further than that. Why does he stand up? What the fuck? What's wrong with this game? Why is he standing up? I can't run when I'm in the wolf cloak. Okay. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Get. He saw me? Really? Okay.
General Arnold will have our heads!
Stay sharp, boys.
He kind of had that one coming. So the cloak doesn't work when you climb hills.
To end your treachery. You escaped me once, but today you die.
Who are you? What is happening?
You know who I am.
I've never seen you before in my life. Washington's apple. He uses it to control men. You have to believe me. I was not in my right mind.
What you did at West Point was of no one's mind but yours.
West Point? I never set foot in that fort in my life. Please. Washington. He's gone mad. You have to bring him down. is no more a man, but a monster. Find Benjamin Franklin in Boston. He can help you. But you have to free him.
Free him from where? Where?
Got you.
So Assassin's Creed is very specific. Like the whole game is about stealth. Everything is stealth. So you have to do things specific ways.
Enjoy your nap.
I'm assuming that the cloak would work when I'm climbing hills. It doesn't work that way either.
It's a shame about old Arnold, but I had to laugh at your expression when I hit you. Great big eyes and then out! Out like a light! God damn you, Putnam! You woke up just in time. We'll be arriving in Boston, a town that will soon be mine. Washington will love it. Look, sir, the man who defied you, the man you shot point blank, I give him to you as a little gift. Look, he wears a wolf hat too! You have gone mad! All of you! With that, he'll kick out Ben Franklin for sure. And Boston will be mine. It's in the bag. Just like your head! Oh, yes. You were meant for quite the gift.
Okay, that was the end of the infamy. That was the end of the infamy. So there's like 3 DLCs attached to this in the Tyranny of King Washington, or 3 episodes to the DLC. So the DLC is pretty long. Like, if it was a short DLC, it would be the one. It'd be just infamy itself, and then it would be short because infamy itself isn't enough to call it a DLC. Well, betrayal would be enough to call it a DLC. But there's a 3rd episode, so this is a long DLC. It feels like this DLC feels like half a game. No, this DLC feels like 25% of a game, which is a pretty damn good DLC, because if you're playing 25% of a game, you're playing more than 2 hours of a game. Like, say, if at minimum, most games are like, at minimum, the bare minimum, most games go from anywhere from 5 to 8 hours. So the cheapest game will have 5 hours, which means I just played, like, with all 3 of these combined, it would be 1 hour. Well, let's say the game is 8 hours. I would play, like, with all 3 of these combined, like 2 hours of that game. So that's pretty damn good for a DLC. But knowing that this game is like more than 12 hours in relations to the story itself. Assassin's Creed story. I would say like this, just the story itself, this is a good chunk. This is like a good 3-hour DLC. Because if you cut out the amount of times I die in Infamy, and you cut out the running around, I'm looking for stuff, the first episode would be about an hour, and then the second is probably an hour, and the third is probably an hour. So the whole DLC, Tyranny of King Washington, is 3 hours. That's like 25% of the actual game itself. That's pretty damn good. So yeah, I'll continue the rest of this tomorrow. This is pretty good for a DLC. That's how you want a DLC to be. You want it to be more than an hour. Like a good DLC that's a continuation to a game has to be anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. If a DLC in attachment to a game is about an hour, then that DLC has failed. Like Warframe has like attachment stories, like downloadable content stories, like short quests, but those are quests. Those aren't like DLCs. Those are just mini quests or events. Like their DLCs are more than an hour. As in the new war is more than an hour, or it would take you a little bit more than an hour, because that's an actual DLC. Quests like a Warframe quest, those things take less than a DLC. And also, like in Warframe, you got to play Holvania, Warframe 1999. That takes more than an hour of the entire story itself. So that's a DLC. Like large downloadable contents. Like they say, the next big update. If any game says the next big update, the next big update is typically a DLC. Like many downloadable contents aren't really like DLCs, even though they are. They're more like events for you to do. But a DLC is typically a portion of the story, or an alternate version of a story that takes a while to complete. It doesn't take like 30 minutes to complete, or even an hour to complete. It takes a while to complete. Even if you were to rush it, it would take you about more than an hour to complete it. So all three of these together will take you, and obviously, even if you were to speed run it, you won't be able to speed run this, because the story quests, the cutscenes, probably all the cutscenes combined together, if you exclude you doing the physical objective in the game, all cutscenes together are probably an hour piece. Episode 1, 2, and 3, all of them together in one swoop as one big story is probably an hour. And then you playing the missions in the game will probably take you an hour for this one, and this one. So this is a 3-hour DLC, but if you think about every objective you have to complete, it's more like 4 hours, because all of this together is 1 hour, and then 1, 2, 3, each of different objectives within each of these is probably 30 minutes a piece. It would take you to complete every one of them. Even if you were to speed run it, you might be able to get it at 15 a piece, which will still bring you to about anywhere from around 40, 45, 46 minutes. So let's say even if you speed run all of these, it will bring you to about an hour. So if the whole episode 1, 2, and 3 is an hour, and you speed run all this, that would be another hour. So by themselves together, it would be like 2 hours. So the DLC will be like 2 hours. So any DLC that's more than an hour, combined with both the objective and the story itself, is good. But if the cutscenes and the objective fall within just an hour marker, and you finish the game in an hour for both everything that's happening in the game, including the cutscenes, then that's not really a good DLC. It's still a DLC, but it's not good. It's terrible. It's like Resident Evil's, some of their like little downloadable contents, like the hunk stuff where you have to kill and get to the extraction point. That's not a good DLC. You're just doing a little mini objective, mini mission. A good DLC is typically has a story, has content, has new weapons, has new objectives, add flavor towards the overall story of the game, not a little mini game. That's not a good DLC. So when games come out with things that are not actually part of a DLC, I'll be like, you know what, man, I think I would just take the game and then I'll leave everything else to the wind and probably never play that game again. This is why I keep coming back to Assassin's Creed, back to Doom, back to Warframe, back to Resident Evil, back to not For Honor, back to Shin Megami games, back to some Call of Duty games, or back to From Software games, because their DLCs are actually long, and it means what it means. It's a downloadable content that has meaning to it. It's not a cheap little thing that someone quickly did to get cash. So I'll continue episode 2 and 3 tomorrow, but this is fucking awesome. Makes me wanna play the actual real game all over again. So let's see what we could see here with regards to the game itself. I'm going to continue the Tyranny of King Washington again tomorrow, but I'm on an Assassin's Creed high right now. I want to see some of the images.
In this 4-part series, get an inside look on the making of one of the most anticipated titles in gaming history. This is Inside Assassin's Creed 3.
Now you see, Putnam was on your side, so it's weird that Putnam is all of a sudden turned
North America,
evil.
They had been involved in shipping goods back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean. In order to make this economic system work, the British tried to control the goods that are going to the colonies. And it was this goods coming back and forth which made a few places on eastern North America important.
Whether it's the Boston Tea Party or the Boston Massacre. Fire! We have these big historical events that we can situate our game around. All of these events that people have a rough understanding of, but they've really never experienced.
We had to go back and get our historian to find us accurate maps from the era of what Boston and New York looked like. These are actual replicas of the cities.
If you're familiar with those cities, you should have that sort of eerie feeling of finding familiar sights.
We really wanted to push the animations and just make it look like it's a real living world.
As you walk through the crowd, you'll also see animals in the streets.
They'd have a pig, they'd just clip his ear in a certain way, and they'd let him go in the street. And then he'd eat garbage, and then when it was time to eat the pig, you'd go and find your pig, and you'd slaughter it and eat your pig.
We've got a lot of new ingredients that just bring a new, fresh feeling to the gameplay inside of the cities.
We have these great new stalking zones that you're going to find throughout the cities. It's a great way for you to remain hidden from your enemies and actually be able to sneak up to them so that you could assassinate.
We've got this amazing dynamic weather system in, so we can see not just the time of day passing, but also going in and seeing the same environments not just in the summer, but in the winter as well.
Even though it's a much more condensed area in the city, you actually have to be more careful.
There will be carts moving past, so as you're running along the buildings, escaping some snipers, you'll be able to just dive off into a hay cart that's driving past. You'll be able to jump out of that, free run quickly through the streets, through a building, and jump out the other side. See people inside freaking out as you run past through their kitchen.
Oh, what the hell? What the hell is he talking about? Wasn't that in Assassin's Creed 2? I could swear that was in Assassin's Creed 2. Alright, so let's continue on. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I did say I was going to continue this tomorrow. What am I doing? I am going to continue this tomorrow. The second one. And just wanted to watch some animations. That was his name. That was his name. Haytham Kenway. That was his name. I keep calling him Hathaway. But it was Haytham Kenway. Or Hatham Kenway. That's why I thought his name was Hathaway. Because it's Hatham Kenway. Or Haytham Kenway. This was the last guy I killed before the end of the game. Charles Lee. So his English name is Connor Kenway, taken from his father. But his actual official name is Rathaka Hayden. Rathaka Hayden is his mother's name. You never hear it in the actual Assassin's Creed 3, his actual official name. Or you might have heard it once, but yeah. There's a special love I have for Assassin's Creed 3 and 2. So Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 3. Both of them are my favorite Assassin's Creed. A lot of people like Black Flag, but I think I like 2 still better than Black Flag. So my favorite Assassin's Creed or Assassin's Creed game is 2 and Black Flag. That's how it goes. My favorite are 2 and Black Flag, and 3 is comes in third place because 3 is like the underdog, and he's brutal. Like the other assassins, they're like very stealthy, but 3 and Black Flag is their kills are brutal, especially the Odyssey and the new Assassin's Creed game that just came out. Those are pretty brutal too, but I believe Connor was the first assassin to introduce a lot of brutality into his kills. It was very visual and raw. That's why I have a special place for Assassin's Creed 3 in my heart, because it introduced the brutality of Assassin's Creed, whereas the other two, 1 and 2, were all about stealth. So after 3, things really got like brutal thereafter. And also the music of Assassin's Creed 3 is like, to me, is better than most of the Assassin's Creed game. It's like badass. It's like the entrance music to a freaking WWE match set in ancient times, or the entrance music to a gladiator arena, or like the opening music towards a huge sea battle that's about to happen between two giant-sized, infantry ships. Of course, he doesn't represent the same thing that the other assassins have, So let me see the lore of this damn thing, because there's so many things I forgot about Assassin's Creed. There's so many things I forgot about the lore of the Assassin's Creed. I mean, I know about Desmond and the machine and everything, but I'm more interested in the historical characters. I mean, I understand about the Templar Knights and everything, but let me see. Okay. Desmond Miles. Alright, so it says here Desmond Miles. Okay. Was kind of let down to his father, but then was used the machine in order to access the Animus to relive his ancestral memories. Artifacts called Pieces of Eden. I don't remember that. Okay. The Order of Assassins was based upon historical assassins, which were Islamic assassins. Well, not really like specifically Islamic, but from those from certain areas. Okay. Knights Templar. Okay. I know about Iso. Okay. Black Flag. Assassin's Creed 4. Edward. Okay. I know about that. And Unity began in Brotherhood 2010. Originally called The Following, Odyssey. Okay. And of course the Odyssey was brutal. And Valhalla was also. The Sengoku period. Assassin's Creed Shadows, which came out in 2022. It's just like the most recent one. Which makes sense. Which should be equally as brutal. After the death of Desmond Miles in Assassination Creed 3 or Assassin's Creed 3, through the introduction of Layla Hassan in Assassin's Creed Origin, due to the lack of a main character and the number of studios involved, Infinity aimed to re-establish the modern-day side of the series. Animus Hub is not a launcher, but instead a feature to be integrated into Shadows. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because the guy who's their main got killed off. Speaking of which, let me see. While I'm doing this, who was the person who killed Desmond Miles? Well, he kind of killed himself. Or should I say, who walked over Desmond Miles' body? I forgot her name. See, this is why you can't okay, so let me go back. Let me get out of here. This is why you can't pay attention to AI overview. Fucking AI. Stupid as shit. In Assassin's Creed 3, no specific character is shown to walk over Desmond Miles' body on screen. Really? See, this is why you would never 100% depend on AI. Because the human experience understands that something happened. Where even if you were to introduce AI to a thing, it won't know what that thing is unless you educate it to know what that thing is. So whoever did the AI for Google on Assassin's Creed or Assassin's Creed, they obviously did not feed all the information to that AI about Assassin's Creed 3, because it doesn't know exactly who the woman was that walked over Desmond's body. But if you were to play the game, you would know who it was. So let me, Assassin's Creed 3. See, he doesn't even know. It's going to think that You're asking about Templars. Screw the Templars.
Used to be when people talked about the end of the world, we locked them up. Or laughed them off. Sometimes both. But we never took them seriously. Maybe we should have. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Better to start at the beginning, with the abduction of Desmond Miles.
Okay, there it is.
This boy had no ambition.
Okay, so there it is. Her name is Juno. And AI, Google's AI doesn't know, because it understands Juno is in the game. Google AI understands Juno is in the game, but it doesn't understand that at the end of the game, Juno walked over its body, or should I say Desmond's body. So how would an AI that's supposed to be so intelligent and accessing information with regards to stuff concerning Assassin's Creed 3 not know that? Simple, because we haven't fed it that information. So if you don't feed AI information, it cannot use it to give you such information. So that's another thing I always tell people, like, listen, if you're so worried about AI is going to take over the world, all that crazy shit, the best way to solve that situation is not to give it information to use against you, or not to divulge any type of information to AI whatsoever at all, because it won't be able to have that experience and knowledge, because it's just a machine. It cannot experience that. So same for coding. Like, if you don't put information with regards to everything in Assassin's Creed on the internet in detail, the Google AI cannot figure out by piecing things together through people's conversation that this is what happened. Because you tell me Assassin's Creed 3
Used to be when people talked about
Assassin's Creed 3 ended like years ago. This game ended years ago. Years ago. And Google still doesn't know that Juno walked over Desmond Miles' body. That's because no one ever gave it, the AI, that information. Or it simply can't assess what people are saying when they're talking about Juno walking over Desmond's body. It doesn't have the understanding of what people are saying when they say it. Or when people say it, no one had said it that way that a program could assess that that's what they mean. So that's why you never depend on anything on the internet, especially something from artificial intelligence. The human experience will know things far more than any machine ever could. Because this game has been out for years. Assassin's Creed 3 has been out for years. And Google's AI, I'm pretty sure it's been around for more than a year. So, yeah, that's your answer to AI. It's not, you should not depend on it for any answers, because it just won't know certain things whatsoever at all. Everyone who played Assassin's Creed 3 and finished the game knew that Juno walked over his body. Period. And that's a huge oversight that an AI would not be able to have known this. So yeah, I don't mess with AI. If I want to learn something, I go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary or any type of encyclopedia that's a physical object. And if I can't find it, then I go onto the internet. Or if I do find it on the internet, it has to be 100% aligned with what I saw and I experienced. Like, I'm not going to tell you stuff about Martin Luther King if I wasn't there to see it. But I'm going to tell you stuff about Martin Luther King if I had learned it in school based on what I was taught, and then I see it on the internet and I said, yep, that's true, because that's what I was taught in school. And that's all I could go on. And if Google AI has the same information with regards to what I was taught in school and from books, then Google AI is correct. Because what someone decides to rewrite history and then turn it into coding online has nothing to do with the real experience whatsoever at all. You cannot tell me if I grew up in another country and I used to live next to a river that they eventually filled up and turned into concrete and made a beach out of, or a platform out of, by filling in the muddy beach and turned it into hard sand, and now that hard sand is like a concrete sidewalk where it used to be a muddy lake leading into an ocean. You cannot tell me that that never existed, that I made that up, that there was no such thing in your country. You were just dreaming. Or there was not a matinee back home in my country. There was never a matinee that existed. That my country never had a matinee. Or there was not a product. There was not a product called Ideal in my country. A kind of sweet kind of candy that was an icicle, pink in color, with milk inside of it. In this country it's called something else, but in my country it was called Ideal. You cannot tell me that did not exist, that I made all that up, and it's called something else, and it was never imported into my country, and I didn't have that experience. You should never depend on technology or AI for answers. The human experience is the most important. So I'll continue this tomorrow. Kind of ramble on about different things, but I needed to know certain things with regards to what happened at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, because I forgot that Juno popped up at the end, and that she's the overall bad guy of the entire Assassin's Creed journey, from one all the way to the future. Whatever is happening now in Shadows, and whatever happened after Shadows, or Brotherhood, or Assassin's Creed 2, or Black Flag, or Valhalla, or the Odyssey, or 1, or I forgot, the Unity, or whatever other Assassin's Creed is out there that I forgot. Juno is the main bad guy of all of those, because she's an immortal, or supposed immortal, or maybe half immortal. Maybe she can die. I believe she can die, but technology or whatever type of artifacts that the future had allowed them to come back to life, or to preserve their body to live forever, like freaking Apocalypse. Because Apocalypse is not really immortal. You can't kill Apocalypse from X-Men, but he can revive himself and make himself become immortal through technology, even though it's not really immortality, it's just an extension of life. So Juno is the main bitch, the leader of the Templars, and the Templars are the opposing faction of the Assassins. They are also assassins themselves, but they don't call themselves assassins, they call themselves Templars. They're mirror images of the assassins, and they serve Juno like some slave ass shit. But they don't consider it slavery, they consider it servitude for great ends, because they know the world is about to come to an end. They know humanity and the planet is going to be destroyed, reduced to a cinder, burned to ash by some crazy meteor or devastation or something like that. That their humanity is going to be wiped out completely, and a new species is going to inhabit the planet. And to prevent such a thing from happening, because it is going to happen, because it happened to Juno and her species or her civilization, because I don't consider them human anymore. Once you're dead and you come back to life, or you make yourself exist past the age of 100 years old, where you're like thousands of years old, you're not really human anymore. And since they've colonized space and colonized, kind of like create devices that could do something like time travel, I don't know, man. I don't think that the Assassin's Creed story as a whole, as a franchise, is going to end good. I think it's going to end real bloody. I have a feeling this end is going to come. This end of the human race will come regardless. But right before it's about to drop, right before that ends, that last match scratches, and then the flames explode. Right then, as it is exploding, there's going to be an opposing factor to quell those flames as it's happening. Like if you're cooking food and the fryer just catch fire and a huge blaze happen, and it starts, you whip it out and you spray it before it burns your house to the ground. That's what's going to happen. The fire will catch flame. The earth will start to burn. It will happen. But it won't burn to asunder. Something will prevent the earth from completely burning to asunder, or destroyed by whatever means, tech or infection. Something will stop it. It will happen. The end will come. But something will stop it. Or humanity will survive, just not in the way that Juno and those bitch Templars thought it was going to come about. So they are going to stop it, but not in the way that other people think. So the good guys are going to win. It's just going to be a heavy price in victory, because eventually these people are going to move on from Assassin's Creed. They are. Eventually they'll put this game away, and they won't come back to it for like years down the road. Just like they did with Resident Evil. They didn't come back to Resident Evil 1 remake. So it's been years since the 90s going into the early 2000s. And then it came out with Resident Evil 1 remake. But then the time period from Resident Evil 1 to Resident Evil 2 remake was years apart. So they will come back to this once they're finished with Assassin's Creed, but it'll be years apart. Maybe even a decade they'll put this away and come back to it. But the story of Desmond and the story of Juno and the Templars and the Assassins has to come to an end at a certain point. But I believe it will be that point of no return that will win. So who knows? I can't believe I talked this much in regards to this, but yeah, I didn't want to continue the second part of the story. I just needed to figure out what the hell was going on since I last played this. That's it. I'm out. I'll continue this tomorrow.